to overdo plant protein? Is too much protein unhealthy from any source or just from animals?
That's a very good question. Let me tell you what I know by way of not answering it. So, the recommended dietary allowance of protein it probably needs to be adjusted. It's a bit low. It's 0.8 grams per kilogram body weight, which translates to 0.36 grams per pound body weight. Most of the science shows that somewhere between 50% and like 3/4 more than that. So like 1.2 to 1.6, so up to maybe double that amount of protein is optimal for body composition, which then leads to improved metabolic health. So we probably need more protein than the recommended dietary allowance. But once you get up into the 2 to 2.5 grams per kilogram body weight range, that like 1 gram of protein per pound body weight that's all over social media with no context. Um, there are now some studies that start to show the source of the protein is important. So that when that excess protein comes from animal foods, that looks like that increases cardiovascular disease risk, whereas it's more health neutral when that excess protein comes from plant foods. If your kidneys are healthy going into a high protein diet, it doesn't seem to hurt your kidneys. But if your kidneys are not healthy going into a high protein diet, it does worsen kidney disease. So, all that to say, it's probably okay if you're going to go into this higher protein range. Maybe you're, bulking, you're trying to put on muscle at the gym. Um, that's if you're going to do that, where the science is at now is that it would be much better to do that from having at least the extra protein coming from plant proteins compared to coming from animal proteins. The composition of the whole diet is also important here. So the other challenge with this high protein level is it starts to displace other nutritionally important foods, and that might be also contributing to risk. In which case, depending on, especially if we're relying on processed plant proteins, if we're relying on, pea protein powder, for example, we're probably not doing ourselves a lot of favors because we're displacing other nutritionally valuable foods that are supplying nutrients that we're no longer getting enough of. So all that to say, I'm not sure the science is super clear in terms of giving us guidance for this specific question, but based on what's there, yes, it's better to be plant foods, but also it's better to keep our protein intake within the accepted macronutrient distribution range, which is 10 to 35% calories from protein.